Hey guys, so we're gonna do this video, and I did not originally plan on filming this video, but this is going to be another one of those video journals, a why video in my why series, I suppose, and it's going to be kind of an apartment story time video for you, but it's going to be more of like a journal entry for me, just like a explanation and yeah, just like working through some of the things that I've been through here. So as you see by the title, this video is why I'm really moving, and I wanted to talk about all the reasons why we decided to move from here. And it's not just because we wanted to upgrade our apartment, there's just a lot of things. Also, I keep getting asked questions if Ryan is coming with me in the move. Yes, we are moving together. Cats as well coming with. Just thought I would clear that up. Okay, so we're gonna go back in time like we do in all of these videos, all the why videos. We go way back in time. So we're gonna go back in time to about age 10 for me, and that is when my parents got divorced. So my mom and I actually moved into these exact apartments when I was 10 years old after the divorce. And it feels weird living here because the layout of this apartment is almost exactly the same as the layout that I lived with my mom in for so long. We lived here from when I was 10 to 16. A lot of formative years, all my preteen years, early teen years. It was a long time of living here. I've said this before, so if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that these are the same apartments. And that is one of the biggest reasons why we've decided to move, is because I'm ready to close the chapter on this place. I originally wanted to move here because it was in the same town I was already living in. I've never lived outside of this town that I live in now, actually. And it was comfort. It felt like home here already because I had spent so much time living here anyway. So I felt like it was a really good place for Ryan and I to live together for the first time. This was our first apartment together. So it just felt like home, and it felt right. The price was right too. That helps. So I just have a lot of memories in these apartments. I mean, every corner of these apartments, the pool area, everything has a memory attached to it because I lived here for 6 years. I had, you know, close friends that lived in the complex with me as well, and we would just run amok throughout the apartment complex. But that was a really hard time of my life, and I don't think I recognized that it was a really difficult time in the moment, even though I was struggling. I just thought it was like normal stuff. My mom's mental health was not well while we were living here, and that just doesn't hold great memories for me. My mom is a smoker. She's been a smoker her whole life. And when we lived here, she smoked inside the apartment, and I was just known in like middle school as the smoker girl, even though I never have touched a cigarette in my life. And I think it's because of this reason I never ever want to be associated with cigarettes ever again, because I was so traumatized by the fact that I would just reek of cigarettes when I would go to school every single day. For 6 years, and teachers would even come up to me and ask me if I smoked cigarettes, and it was really embarrassing for a shy, introverted, awkward young preteen girl to just be confronted with all this all the time. So I have good memories here and bad memories here, obviously, but I just feel like I'm ready. I am finally ready to put this apartment complex to rest. I just don't need it anymore. It has been a comfort for me for so long to live here. For so long. I've lived here 9 years total of my life. That's almost a third of my life I have lived in these apartments. So I cannot tell you how ready I am to move on from these apartments. But that's not the only reason. Obviously, I'm gonna get into issues about the apartment itself. These are not... Is it bad to post this while I'm still living here? I still have 3 weeks left to live here, so hopefully they don't come across this video. So let's get into all the other reasons why we need to move from this place. Not that we just want to upgrade, it's like, it's time. Like, it's really time. This place is just not working for us anymore. On move-in day, okay, well, first off, they asked us in the beginning when we were signing our lease, do you want hardwood floors put in? We can do that before you move in. We have to replace the carpet anyway, so do you want hardwood? And obviously we went for the hardwood. We don't want carpet, but obviously if you've seen my apartment, you know I have carpet. is our front door. And then they were supposed to put in hardwood floors throughout. So this is our entryway. And this was supposed to be throughout, but then she said they couldn't get approved for it. So they just put in carpet. On move-in day, we pull up, ready to move, get our keys, and they're like, by the way, we couldn't get the wood installed in time. So there's carpet in there. Okay, and we had no choice. We had no other option. I was so excited to move in anyway that I kind of just brushed it off, but that was a really annoying thing that happened to us. Obviously it's out of our control, probably was out of the apartment's control, but they told us one thing and did not tell us that it couldn't happen until the day we got our keys to move in. Oh, I need to go back too. This is also the complex where I had my first car accident. Yeah, so there's that, my first car accident experience. I was probably 13 and my friend's grandfather hit the gas instead of the brake when he was parking, and we took out a balcony. We went around a building in his truck. It was very traumatizing. No one was hurt, but it was very scary for a 13-year-old me who had car anxiety anyway to go through that. This is also the apartment where right outside the apartment my mom had hit a woman in a lark, like a little scooter, elderly woman, and that was a whole situation. The lady was fine. She had a broken hip. It wasn't my mom's fault, actually. They found her not at fault because the street lights were burnt out at the time, and the lady was jaywalking in the middle of the night in the middle of the road, so she just kind of appeared. Also, we have dealt with bug issues our whole time living here. I have bug bites constantly because the insulation is so bad here, which means that the heating and air is like expensive because I had to put like a strip on the bottom of our door, our front door, because the air would just blow on in. There's a huge gap underneath our door, which I think is how the bugs were getting in, because since I put that there, we've had less issues with bugs. I found cockroaches in our pots and pans, just bugs, so many bugs. These are really, really old apartments, so I think they just have little holes and things here and there, and the insulation just isn't great, so there's that. Rats live in our hot water heater closet out on our patio. So that's nice. There's just a lot of rat poop out there. There's rat boxes all over the complex, which again, out of their control to an extent. We've seen rats crawling around only outside, thank God. No rats have come inside. Luckily, I like rats, like as an animal. I think they're really cute, so it doesn't bother me too much. But obviously I don't want them in my house. I have cats. I don't need like rabies or anything. So yeah, that's just another thing that's been an issue. You swear you didn't do that? I swear. You did not.
I did not.
How did they do that?
I don't even know how.
Do you guys see this?
You did that.
Ryan just took a shower. No, you swear?
I swear to God.
The hot tub has had caution tape around it for almost our entirety of living here for 3 years. Not sure why, never said why. Obviously it shut down because of COVID this year, but before that it just hasn't been functioning, and I love a good hot tub situation, and we've used it a handful of times living here. The same week that they took out a vending machine, we really liked the soda vending machine by the mailboxes here, and they took that out and instead gave us valet trash. If you have never had valet trash in your complex, please be grateful, because I hate it. I hate valet trash. It's a $25 a month charge that is not optional. You have to pay for it every single month, and then they come and pick up your trash by your door. I can take my own trash out, thank you. I can just walk it 10 feet to the dumpster myself. I don't want to pay $25 a month to pay for valet trash. Do I know if, this is not the first place that I have dealt with valet trash. I lived in one other one before. I don't know if the new one has valet trash either, but I hate paying for it. I hate it. All right, now we're gonna get into like the bigger issues that I've had living here. Plumbing. The plumbing issues have just, all 3 years, we've had plumbing issues. The bathroom sink and bathtub do not drain very well. I've used so much Drano in my time living here. They've cleared it multiple times. I've called maintenance to come clear it. They've done it multiple times. It's just like a permanent problem. And then, let's see, our washer has always smelled like sewage after we use it. And then the other day, our sink started to smell like sewage and wouldn't drain, and our garbage disposal broke, so that was fun. They just told me to bleach the washer like do a cycle with just bleach. I think it's a bigger issue going on because when my upstairs neighbor does laundry, soap comes up in our toilet. Our toilet will gurgle, and then we got soap coming up. And I can hear his laundry machine going in his bathroom upstairs, because you guys know the floors are like paper thin. That's another reason to move, but we're living on the bottom floor again in our new place, so we're gonna have neighbor issues no matter what. It's just the apartment living. And then the other day, which was the final straw for me when it comes to this plumbing issue, I was on the toilet, okay? And I hear my upstairs neighbor flush his toilet right above me, and all of a sudden it starts raining down on me while I'm on the toilet. Just water is coming from our air vent right above me. Granted, it was clean water from what I could tell. It didn't smell, it didn't look weird or anything like that. It just looked like clear water. But still, not a fan of that situation. So I emailed maintenance, or emailed the apartments, and I was like listing all these plumbing issues. And I'm like, we're moving out in a couple weeks anyway, but I wanted to let you know in case it's like a bigger issue. So then maintenance comes in, he clears out the garbage disposal, fixes that sink, it drains. Clears out the bathroom sink, it drains. Then as he's leaving, he's like, all right, you're all good to go. And I'm like, did they tell you about the toilet? How soap comes up when my neighbor does laundry, and while I was on it the other day, it like rained down, like water drips from the air vent. Did they mention that? And he was like, no, that sounds like a issue I'll have to go on the roof for another time. When? I guess I'll just listen to make sure my neighbor isn't using the bathroom when I go, so that way it won't rain on me, but we still wake up to puddles of water on the ground. Now I figured out it's coming from the air vent from my neighbor's toilet. I guess I'll just deal with that for 3 more weeks, because I don't know when they're gonna fix that. And then he told me again, I asked about the washer being smelly. It smells like sewage. Our clothes don't end up coming out smelling like sewage, but the washer itself reeks after we use it, especially with hot water cycles. I don't know what's going on. To me, it sounds like there's something just all wrong with the plumbing in general in this building, because every piece of plumbing in our apartment just sucks. So something's going on. It's not individual problems, like individual clogs here and there. Anyway, he just told me to bleach my washer again, so how about you just replace it? It's like a 20-year-old washer. How about you just do that? Although I'm not convinced that that would even solve the problem, because like I said, I think it's a bigger issue. Okay, now we're gonna get into bigger issues about this place that just have given me bad memories this year. This year has been so shitty. A lot of loss this year, and it's been really hard. One incident that happened is our one building right across from us caught on fire, and it was a bad fire. Almost the entire building is uninhabitable. It displaced 18 residents who had to move into hotels temporarily, and people lost pets in this fire, and it was awful. No one was injured. No human was injured, I should say. Thank God. So that was a positive. That day was so stressful too, because I went out on my patio because I saw a bunch of fire trucks, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And then these 2 ladies out in the parking lot were like flagging me down. They were like, is this your car? And then so I go outside actually to talk to them, and they were like, a cop just hit this car. And it's my boyfriend's car, and I'm like, cool. So Ryan was in the shower when all this was happening. He had no idea the building was on fire. He had no idea a cop hit his car. So it wasn't like bad or anything. The cop just, well, first off, he drove off, and the ladies were like, he drove off. You need to go take a picture of his license plate. He just hit your car and ran. And it's like, well, there are bigger issues going on. I don't care. I mean, it's not my car anyway, but I know Ryan wouldn't care because there's a fire. Like, the building is on fire. I think it's okay. He had to move. The cop had hit his car originally because he had to move his car for the fire truck, because the fire hydrant is right next to our building, or right next to our apartment right here. So he had to quickly like turn around, and that's when he hit Ryan's car. It didn't do any damage, but it was like very stressful. I had to run into Ryan while he's taking a shower and be like, first off, there's a building on fire and a cop hit your car. Anyway, now the building is just completely black. Like, it's bad. It burned through multiple units. It was a horrible fire. That's not a reason to move necessarily. It's just another thing that is just happening around us while we're living here that is negative. that I'm just ready to move on from. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, I mentioned on my Instagram story, and it's still really hard for me to talk about. We had an elderly neighbor who lived in another building, and he was a friend of ours. And we had brought him food, literally on Christmas Day, brought him food. And I witnessed him pass away right outside our building. Like I saw the paramedics rush in and try to resuscitate him for 30 minutes. And then he passed away right there. And I saw them get the white sheet, and I just like broke down. I've never in my life seen something like that happen. And then luckily there were things blocking my vision, so I could not see everything going on. I knew who it was because his car is parked right outside our apartment, which is how we got to know him, because he's a very talkative man. I knew it was him because he would always go get coffee and walk to his car right here, and he did have health issues prior to this incident, but I had no idea what even caused it, and I'm still not sure to this day what caused it. And I thought, I mean, it took them hours to retrieve his body. And it was so surreal in those moments, being in my apartment, knowing that he was out there. I just have never gone through something like that. And that was so difficult. And I don't want it to sound like I'm complaining like, oh, woe is me because a man died. And it's not about me at all. But when I had left later that afternoon, I had walked outside thinking everything was okay outside, and it wasn't. They retrieved him, but they did not clean the area. And so I saw the aftermath of it, and I, again, have never seen something like that. And ever since that incident, there's a permanent stain. Now every time I walk by, it's a constant reminder of what had happened, and it's just permanently marked there. Again, I'm not trying to say that we're moving because of this incident. We had made the decision to move prior to this anyway. It's just ever since we've decided to move, things keep adding up and keep happening. It just feels like such a right time, and that if we hadn't decided to move, we would have regretted it so much. Would we save more money staying here? Absolutely. We are upgrading our apartment, but we both feel like now is the perfect time because we deserve it. We've worked really hard to be able to get this apartment, and I did get a comment the other day, which they've apologized and everything, so it's like, it's all good, but they were concerned that I was going to change and like become bougie all of a sudden, and I just want to clarify if you think that. I'm moving down the street. I'm still living in the same city I always have in Northern California. Little, small, medium-sized city, so you know, I'm not bougie, I'm not moving to an LA mansion or anything like that. I think they were worried because I'm a YouTuber. When you move, it's like they're scared I'm gonna become like unrelatable or something like that. But this new apartment means so much to me because I'm closing this chapter forever. I'm never going to come back here to train. That tells you I've lived in this area for so long, because if you guys remember old videos where there's a train down the street from that, so you know. I'm just ready to start upgrading my life and treating myself and being able to afford places like what I'm moving into. And I call it a dream apartment. It's not going to be super fancy or anything like that. I don't want to mislead you into thinking it's like a mansion or like it's a 1-bedroom still, 1 bed, 1 bath. So it's just a little upgrade from where we are now. I hope you're excited for the content coming up in January and 2021. I'm not sure what this channel is going to hold. December was very chaotic with my content. So I don't know what we're doing on this channel anymore, but I'm gonna figure it out. And we're just gonna take it a week at a time here. So if you have any recommendations of what you wanna see more of in 2021, please leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.